love it. The Alexis dress is so cute. Like, I feel like the name matches the style, the fit is summer. Hi besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for those old brand, my name is Parnell. I am the owner of the Parnell brand, and this is a place for all fashion designers to create. So today we're going to be making a really fun, cute, exciting dress. This dress right here, and then we'll use this video to follow along on to how to make this really cute dress. This dress is available in 2 different sizes. You have the extra short and mini size, my personal fave. Keep in mind this is an extra small on a medium mannequin, so it does look a little short. So it won't be this short, but you get the idea. Or you can do a midi length, and I'll show you the midi length. The midi length is really cute. It's also cute, you know, maybe you don't want to show as much skin, or for your event you can't wear short. It's perfect. But when you download the pattern available below, it is available on my Etsy and my webpage. You will print out the pattern. The pattern is available in extra small through extra large. This is the sewing pattern printed out. There will be 5 pieces total. You will have the front and the back for the skirt, and you will also have 2 front pieces for the top. Bam, bam. So you'll have 5 pieces total printed out. Sewing pattern sews in probably about an hour to 2 hours, even less if you're quicker, even longer if you just want to take your time. There's no rush on it. Follow along with this video. I would recommend you make this dress with a serger, but it is 110% possible to make it with just a sewing machine. For this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make it with the serger, but whenever we use the serger, you can use the sewing machine for the same effect. So follow along as we make this cute dress. All right, besties, so we're going to jump right into it. First, you'll download the pattern, and once again, the pattern is available below. It is available on my Etsy and website. So once you print out the pattern, you'll notice a little chunky pattern because we have 5 pieces we're printing out. So first, you're going to line up your pattern. You'll start to notice that I started with page 1, and then I am lining up page 1 through all the pages with A matching A, B matching B, C matching C, and so forth. There is also a print payout page available on your pattern that shows you how the pages will be laid out. And then once you have it all laid out, we're going to cut the pattern. And you'll notice when I'm cutting the pattern, I'm cutting directly on the second line. Seam allowance is included, and I'm also cutting away any excess space. Once the pattern is printed out, we're just gonna go ahead and tape that bad boy together. Keeping in mind to keep all your pages lined up so you don't tape the wrong pages to the wrong page, and trying to make sure there's not any gaps when you're taping the pages together. And similar as you did to the back piece, you're going to cut out the front piece as well, making sure you're cutting on the line and cutting away any excess space. So when you finish, you'll have all these pieces printed out and taped. Now we're ready to get into the cutting of the fabric, and you'll make sure you want some stretch to your fabric. And you're going to need your fabric, measuring tape, some fabric weights, pins, scissors, and paper clips. And then we're going to be ready to cut out the fabric. So I'm just laying out the fabric, making sure I'm cutting with the stretch. You want the stretch to wrap around your body. So first we're going to cut out the front piece. You'll only need to cut 1 of these out. And as I said earlier, seam allowance is already included in the pattern, so you don't need to cut any excess space when you're cutting. And then for the front piece, you want to make sure you cut out that little circular part at the top. Now moving on to the back, you're going to do the same and just cut out the back piece. Now that we have the bottom portion of the dress cut out, we'll begin working on the top. You'll notice I folded the fabric in half because we're going to be cutting 2 of each for the pattern. I like to do this because it'll help make the top more sturdy, you know, to keep your breasts in. So I'm cutting 2 of each for all the pattern pieces, making sure I am once again sewing with the stretch to go around the body. After you finish cutting out all the pieces for the top, we're going to pin the pieces together because we will need to serge or sew the pieces together. So I'm pinning the top and the bottom of the sides. For the back piece, you'll see I'm showing you where you can sew at. We are not going to sew the sides, only the top and bottom. And then for the two front pieces, we are going to pin the sides together, but this time we're going to sew the top and bottom, but also the long side. We're not going to sew the short side. I'm also going to include a highlighted picture that shows you where to sew. Once you finish cutting out all your pattern pieces, you are going to need one long strip that is about 1.5 inches in width, and you're going to serge that together. Because I am making an extra small, the long strip length for me is 60 inches, and the pattern will also show you what length for the strip you need for your size you're making. Now that we have all the pattern pieces cut out, we're going to work on the bottom of the dress first, and you're just going to place right sides together, the front and back together, and pin down the sides and serge the sides together. And then you're also going to serge all of the raw edges. So you're going to serge the back top and then also the front of the front top. Here is a photo that highlights all the areas you need to serge. So the green areas represent where you will serge at. So make sure to pause and screenshot that. And then we're just going to take the bottom of the dress to the serger, and we're just going to serge all of the green areas that was highlighted. And depending on how much stretch your fabric has and as well as how snatched you like your dress to be, I usually always take off about 1 inch when serging so that my dress will be tighter, more form-fitting, but that's up to your discretion. Keep in mind this pattern does include seam allowance, so you are going to want to at least serge off about 1/2 inch. And once you finish the bottom piece, we're going to serge the top piece. Here is a picture that highlights all the areas where you'll want to serge. Make sure to screenshot that as well, and you'll notice we're sewing 3 sides for the 2 front pieces. We're going to work on constructing the top first, so here is how it will look once you finish serging. We're going to pull all the pieces right sides forward, and then we're going to lay the pieces on top of the back pieces to create the top. Of course, right sides together, and then just making sure you have it all lined up properly. But before we serge down the sides, I do want to press the pieces to give it a more professional and clean look. So I'm just using my iron and pressing down the pieces to make sure all the ends are tighter. And then once you finish doing that, we're going to line it up again and pin down the sides, and the sides will be where we will be serging at, and you'll start to see your top come alive. Here I am serging the pieces of the top down, and it's how the top will look once it's finished being sewn together. And now it's time to make the tunnel for the strap that we cut out earlier. So I'm just going to create a hole using my seam ripper as close to the end as I can get. You'll only need about 1/2 inch for your tunnel. So once you create your hole at the top and bottom of the front piece, you'll see I'm pinning, and the pins I'm putting in will create a line of where I'm going to sew. So I'm going to sew where those pins are, and you're going to do the same for the other side of creating a hole on the top and bottom of your front piece to create another channel. Using thread that matches our fabric. Now we're just going to take it to the sewing machine and sew where those pins are. Now back to the bottom piece of the dress. Now that it's all serged together, you're going to flip it right sides forward, and then we need to hem the edges. So all the areas where we serge along, we're also going to sew the edges of the dress down, and this will give it a finalized clean look. If you're a beginner sewer, I recommend pinning down all the edges, then taking it to the sewing machine. But if you're more experienced, you don't have to pin down the edges where you serge. But we do need to create a little channel for the straps to go through. So you'll see at the top portion of the bottom of the dress, I am folding down the end and creating a small tunnel that I'm going to pin and sew down as well. So first I'm going to sew down the little tunnels I created. and you're just going to do a straight stitch. And next we are going to use a straight stitch to sew down the edges. So as you can see, I am just folding over the edge, making sure the edge is folded over towards the inside, because on the outside I wanted to have a clean finished look, and just sewing down using a straight stitch. Once you finish hemming the edges, you'll get a clean finalized look like so. And next we're going to take our long strap we created and sew together, and we're going to use that to tie the top and bottom portion of the dress together. So using our paper clips, you'll see I'm just funneling it through the top of the dress and the small channel we created. And then you're gonna funnel the other side onto the other side of the bralette top as well. And when you funnel it through, you wanna make sure it's even on both sides. So you're just gonna line up both ends of the straps and make sure you funnel it through evenly. Now that it's funneled through, you're going to take the right hand side of the strap and funnel it through the left hand side of the bottom of the dress into that miniature tunnel you made. And this will give it the crisscross look. So you never want to funnel the right hand side onto the right hand bottom of the dress, always opposite. So left hand side will go on the right hand side of the bottom of the dress, and this will give it that crisscross look. Now that you funneled your straps through, you're going to line up the two portions of the bottom of the dress on the top and pin that together. And you're just going to want to sew those two pieces together right underneath the tunnel where the straps are. And as a last step for the straps, I want them to have a clean look. So I am just tucking the straps inside of each other a little bit at the ends. And then I'm going to sew a straight stitch across the end of it to kind of close that strap together. And once you finish that, your dress is pretty much done. Here is the midi length of the dress. This is how the dress will look if you don't hem your dress using the pattern. I want mine to be a mini size, so I'm going to take off 10 inches since I'm making the extra small. The sewing pattern tells you how much you should take off for your size, and then you'll see once you cut it, it is significantly smaller. And then we're just going to hem the edges using the serger, and then we're going to take it to a sewing machine using a straight stitch to hem the edges and give it a finalized clean look. After serging it, I folded it to the wrong side so the outside can have a clean look, and I'm only taking off about 1/2 inch, so the hem is about 1/2 inch, and then you're just going to use a straight stitch and then you'll be done. Here is the finalized look at the Alexis dress in size mini. She's cute, she's stunning. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next pattern. Bye, besties.